Jayson, can the Cubs, can a group of guys be the face of the game?
Bob, I really think that's where we're heading. If a whole franchise can be the face, this would be the face, and not just because they won. It's because I feel like they've got a different culture than the other 29 teams. For the last century, baseball's had a culture that basically suppressed personality. Joe Madden wants a culture that encourages personality. And I think the way the Cubs won, plus the way they shared it with so many people on social media, having fun with each other, having fun with them, I think they're drawing up a roadmap for baseball.
Pedro, you have been around this game a long time. What about the cultural imperatives of the game? Keep your head down, tip your cap, all the strictures of the game that almost stop guys from stepping forward with their personality, and guys have been reluctant to do that.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing that has happened in baseball is, you're supposed to just be even all the time. You can't get high, you can't get too low, you've got to be even, and that's the only way to maintain yourself in this game. But yet, you watch an NBA game, you watch television, you see LeBron James in commercials, you watch Tom Brady in commercials, you see other athletes from other sports in commercials. You don't see a lot of that in baseball. Now, my understanding is that Major League Baseball is starting to work with their national partners, their national sponsors, and trying to change that. And that's one of the biggest things that can help put faces back familiar to fans from this game. But right now, I think what Jayson says is right, that the Cubs are embracing this. And really, when you look at baseball, it's more of a regional type sport. If you live in the Midwest, you're a Cubs fan or a White Sox or a Cardinals. But if you live on the West Coast, you're not really one of those fans. So it's a regional sport, and they're trying to get a national aspect. And by the way, Bob, real quick, the wind is blowing really hard to right field, like you said earlier. Take the over for tonight.
Oh, and the theme of the day, why not?
Kyle Schwarber, Adrian Gonzalez, Anthony Rizzo, Jock Peterson,
Pete Rose's name.
lefty hitters.
All right. Well, Jayson, in your piece, you run out a whole litany of players who are 25 or 26 years, not even 26. Chief among them, Mike Trout, who could be marketed with his skill set as the face of the game, but the personality may not mesh.
Well, Mike Trout's a really interesting topic within the game. There are a lot of things to love about Mike Trout. He's obviously a special talent, won 2 MVPs, could have won twice that many. And he's got a very genuine side to him. But let's be honest, Mike Trout doesn't want to be LeBron. When I mentioned his name to a baseball official, he said Mike Trout never leaves Orange County or Millville, New Jersey. Had a fascinating talk with his agent, Craig Landis, who basically said, look, the guy's 25 years old. This is all evolving, basically holding out the promise that someday Mike Trout might actually be in the WBC or in the Home Run Derby or take the time to do talk shows or national commercials. But the fact that he's never wanted to do that, plus the fact his teams have never won a postseason game, it makes it really difficult for a guy who should be an icon to actually be the face of the sport.
And Jayson, what is it about Chris Bryant that could maybe elevate him, step out from the pack among all those Cubs?
Chris Bryant is that guy who he's shown he's got the personality. He's already been part of these viral Red Bull prank videos. Not to mention, he's a great player playing on a team that has a chance to elevate him to be that guy. I think baseball tends to wait until these things happen organically. I think in Chris Bryant, they've got someone who seems to understand that it takes more, that there's a responsibility that goes with being a great player, and is not afraid to get out there and share it. Chris Bryant has everything it takes with all the arrows pointing up. Now it would just help if the Cubs would win like maybe more than once a century.
Or 108 years. We've got 30 seconds, Pedro. There's this. The game is largely white. It's 30% Latin. It's only 9% black. That has to factor into this.
Well, you know what? When you're in these cities where there are more Latin players on the roster, they don't seem to care. You know, I was in St. Louis last week. Carlos Martinez is one of the faces of the team. Yadier Molina. It doesn't matter to Cardinals fans. Baseball fans are looking for great players. So I'm not sure that really is one of the issues. Now, getting those players to speak English, that's been one of the challenges for baseball, and they certainly have addressed that in recent years. But until the player is completely comfortable in the English language, it's going to be difficult for a Latin player to be the face.